Hey guys, Chris Brown here. Today I want to talk about this 2008 Jeep Patriot and how to replace the alternator. This is not a step-by-step, just giving you a general overview of what you're going to be looking at and how you're going to do it. Obviously this thing's been sitting for a while, it's got really rusted rotors, and that's probably one of the reasons the bearing went bad inside the alternator, because this particular one is grinding really loud when it runs. Anyway, so you're going to want to start by, obviously I'm on a lift, so that makes this a little bit easier. Going to have some more difficulties at home, but you got to get this thing up off the ground. Remove this wheel, 19 millimeter head studs. Remove this belly pan right here that has 6 bolts holding it on, and 2 plastic clips on each side on the top. The bolt heads are 10 millimeter on that. Then you're going to get in here, and as you can see, your alternator, so pan here, engine, alternators up here. So you're going to have to get this belt off, and you can go ahead, if you put some tension on this belt, you can see where your tensioner is. There it is up there on the left. So we're going to go ahead and get that off, get our belt out of the way. Alright, so to get that belt off, we use a 16 millimeter combination wrench. You slip that on the end here and you're able to pivot the tensioner. Now this is the best time to spin every pulley, inspect them, your idlers, the tensioner, inspect them all for damage or binding or any problems. Now we can go ahead and verify our alternator right here. If you wiggle this shaft, it's got a lot of play in it. So we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way now. You're going to start by removing your AC compressor. You don't actually have to remove the hoses off it, so don't do that, but you got to get this bracket off. And these bolts here, looks like 13 millimeter heads on the bolts, so let's get that out of the way. Alright, so on this AC compressor, you're going to have 2 bolts on this side and 1 bolt on that side up there. And you also have this electrical connection you have to remove as well. Once you get that out of the way, you can then get a pretty... Oh, by the way, the bolts on that are 13 millimeter head. And sorry about all the background noise here, guys. It's a shop, so sorry about that. Anyway, this is your alternator here. This is why it's very important to disconnect your battery first, because this is a hot lead from the battery, and if you arc that to the frame, you could cause a fire, burn yourself, or anything like that. So at this point, you're going to want to remove the alternator bolts, and let's see here. You're going to probably come out right here, I'd say. Forgive me, I haven't done one of these before, so kind of just going, learning as I go here. So I'll check back with you here in a second. So start by popping this plastic cover off of it, and then you have a 13 millimeter nut holding this lead on right here. Then this is your other wire connection here. You're gonna pop this red piece back with a screwdriver and then squeeze this and pull that connector off. Definitely gonna have to get this idler out of the way. This is a 16 millimeter or 5/8 head on this. I'm using a ratcheting wrench to get that out, because you're then gonna have to remove this bolt right here on the lower part of the alternator. All right, so here's the new alternator. This was the lower bolt, had a 16 millimeter head on it with this nut on the back. Spray some lube on that before you take it off. And the top of it, sorry, I just went in the car like this. The top one was right here. This had a 13 millimeter head. Remember, I'm working with air tools here, so I used this to get it off. You're working with hand tools, it's definitely going to take you some more time. It'll be a pain in the butt, but now we got those bolts out. I think I'm going to go ahead and move this compressor back a little bit and come out this way right here. So let's see here. Just to note here, when I pop this out, it looks like you don't even have to remove this lower bolt. Actually just loosen it, and you have this U-shaped hole it goes in, so you can actually just slide it right out of there if you feel like doing it that way. Works either way, but also to note, I did have to use a pry bar to pry this out of there. It was wedged in there pretty good. And with very little effort, I was able to, with this AC compressor down there, able to pull out that hole right there. So next step would be definitely compare the two and make sure you have the right piece before you go trying to jam that thing in there. And obviously verify with this, if you wiggle this shaft, it's got a ton of play, and you can hear the noise too. So this thing was super loud. Anyway, just want to thank you guys for watching. Again, easier with air tools in a shop on a lift for sure. I'm not gonna go into putting it back together, because it's basically the reverse of of taking it out. And honestly, I don't have a lot of time. Got to get this thing done. So please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. I really appreciate that. And yeah, till next time, KZ Guy 2, Chris Brown, over out. Have a good day.